You've been wise as a person with ADHD. You've surrounded yourself with people who can like pick up the slack where you do things like I just did. Because I don't know if you are like me in that regard, but like, you know, I put up this front of like being very put together. Like throughout my life, this has always been the issue. People meet me and they think, this guy is so on the ball. This guy knows what's happening. Like I've been given a leadership position and then been demoted because they realize, okay, he kind of comes off as responsible, but he's all over the place, you know?
Yes, I would say 100%, man. Same thing. It's all, you know, performance art, basically. It's like, hey, I can put on the nice front of like a regular functioning human being. In fact, maybe even be impressive in some respects. Yes. And then you hang around me long enough, it's like, oh, here's I don't know what the hell's going on. It's all a mess. It's just, you saw me last time I was here. My room was just all disheveled. Now today, I've taken the time. I've curated. Really nice. I've curated. I've added my old consoles to my.
Ooh, I like that green N64 over there.
Jungle Green. So okay, dude. I don't know about you, but I'm turning 40 this month, and I have been going back to nostalgia and like I don't know if it's a midlife crisis or whatever you want to call it. Much better than buying a Corvette, but I've been buying old consoles again, and it makes me so very happy. So I got my Jungle Green N64 from when I was a kid, dude, with the expansion pack. Okay, PS1, NES, SNES. Genesis, and I know you have one of these too.
Oh, that is so
DMG.
Nice. Yes. So you haven't had one this for a while, and so you got one.
Yeah, okay.
Good for you.
Let's just ADHD get into it here. Here we go. Let's just go for it because this is a non-modded IP or non-modded screen. I almost said it's an IPS, but I've had one with an IPS and it's not what I want. I realize that for my nostalgia needs, I need it with the original screen. Okay. No artificial help.
Immaculate condition.
I found it on the eBay, on that website where they buy things. And it's
where they buy things, where the young kids buy things.
Where the kids buy things these days.
So has the glass lens that they call the lens, like that glass panel on the front, has that been replaced?
It has, yeah.
Okay, so that helps a lot.
There. Yeah, so it has been. There has been like it's been cleaned up, but it does have like the original serial, but it has a new sticker, and it does have a new glass front.
So but that LCD panel does look in pretty good condition as well.
Yeah, let's fire it up. Let me get it.
Man, nothing gets the nostalgia going for me like a Game Boy DMG starting up. It's like it's the joy for me.
It hits you right in the
yeah, that's why the intro to my channel is what it is, because I didn't have a DMG at that point and I just wanted that startup. I love it. I was going to have the Nintendo but I thought I'd probably get into trouble.
No. Let's see. This is very important right now, okay?
Oh man, you like on the ball. Maybe I need to do something here. So you see, I've changed the position for my streaming because I wanted to put it by my desk and kind of make the workflow easier. But maybe I should get another one of these OBS bots and put it vertically.
I mean, maybe you should. It's up to you, really. This is like just how I do things.
I just love what you're doing there. So cool. So, and by the way, I saw that in your recent video. The Atari cartridge is just lovely.
The ET. Yeah, so I have this weird OCD thing. People may not know this about me, but I need to have things in sets of threes. So I need to have 1, 2, 3 objects on the right in my videos. I need to have 1, 2, 3 objects on the left, and they have to be just so. Then I can film. We're catching a little bit of light on the Atari, so got to get the label just perfect. Okay.
Oh my gosh. So you do have little quirks like that's interesting.
Oh yeah. Every video, every time. So we're gonna put an F1 race. This is my favorite game. I played the most on the toilet when I was 7. And here we go. We're gonna do a little Game Boy poo.
Oh.
Let's see. There it is.
Oh, come on.
That sound, that little. And what's cool about F1 race is that you can do a 4-player multiplayer. This is the first game where you could do a 4-player, 4 Game Boys, and you could race them.
I don't know that game.
F1 race? Maybe it was big in the States. I don't know.
Oh, no, I do know that game. Yes. Very nice.
I don't know. Anyways, these days we have the conveniences of having a
Does that work quite
modern
well?
cart. Yeah, it actually does. You know, I
'Cause I haven't got
thought
one yet.
they're only like what, $10 or something on
Oh, you'll have to do like
AliExpress.
middle of the screen because we're probably going to be vertical.
Oh, we're gonna be
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Okay, so that-
middle of the
so you
screen.
say
I'll
that
remember
one's
that
all right.
for. It works well. I didn't think that would fit because it's a Game Boy Color size, and so I actually took scissors to this and cut the top off so it would fit, and it looks horrible now. And then I found out I just have to push a little bit harder to make it work, and so we're
I
good.
hate that.
But modern conveniences are so nice because retro collecting, I don't know if you've seen this, at least in the US here, is out of control for pricing. It's not reasonable. I can't really afford it. And so honestly, I want to have the original screen though and the experience and the buttons. So just having my ROMs on something like this.
Yes, that is nice.
and
We're
save
always a
states.
few steps behind. Like, you know, like something will happen in the States and then, you know, like in a few years it's going to happen here. So we've got a lot of like retro collector shops that are going now in South Africa. And slowly but surely they have all the stuff. And so they are charging, I think some of them are quite fair, but yeah, some of the prices are a bit ridiculous. No.
Yeah,
It's like
I don't know
anything.
if you've.
I mean,
Right.
I got into film photography. And so, for instance, which one is this? This camera, I got it and I maybe paid 500 Rand for it. I'm pretty sure you can't find one on Facebook Marketplace for less than 1,500 to 2,000 Rand. So it's like anything, you know, it just happens.
And you bought that like with money.
With money, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Why do you say it like that?
Okay, I'm a cheapskate when it comes to camera gear. I have
I
what I
see.
have is for my webcam, I have a Sony ZV-1 Mark II, which is like, you know, $500. But it
Yes.
has like bokeh and it has like some of those things.
It does
and then
the job, yeah.
Does the job, and I have the same camera as my overhead because I just want to match the settings and call it a day.
Okay.
And for some reason I cannot see myself spending, you know, over what is how many Rand is that?
So a Rand is a lot weaker than the dollar. So we're talking like almost 20 times. So if so that's 1,500 Rand divided by 20. It's not that much.
Oh, so it's not actually it's going to be around $500 or $600, right?
Oh, dude, maths is hard, yeah.
Oh, are we going to do math here? Okay, all right. Let me
Come on. If I can put
ask Chat GPT.
the whole science thing on the
Copilot.
screen now.
Let's see. We got to like draw
I'm
the
a smart
lines.
guy, but my brain is just lazy. What did we say? 1,500 divided by 20.
Rand to
Or-
US.
Yeah, so it's $75 US.
I also wanted to tell you as well that I got into trying these Game Boy likes. Have you seen this? Like the Mod Retro?
Yeah, is that the one that was made by some like arms company?
The arms dealer. This is the arms dealer handheld, and it feels like it is a weapon. It's like aluminum chassis. It's all metal. It's a piece of junk though. It's $200, you know. And if you buy it used on eBay, it's like $300, $400, $500 USD.
Yeah.
And it's just the sound doesn't work. The screen is nice, but like why? Why? It's
$200,
FPGA. It's not compatible with 100%, you know, of all the flash cards and stuff. A much cheaper option if you're gonna, you all out there, if you're gonna get into this stuff, and is maybe an actual, you know, Game Boy or like an FP
That
GBC,
one,
which
the
is
funny playing one.
the funny playing, $100. You know,
That's what I've got. So
yes,
good.
I love. So I'm doing an everyday carry battle.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best Game Boy Color of 2025 video, and my pick, spoiler alert, is probably going to be this FPGBC.
Yes.
Good price, plays almost everything, and screen's bigger than the original. Beautiful.
Yeah, I do like that. It was one of my top contenders for my holiday device. But I'm going to sidetrack us a little bit. But
Do it.
oh my gosh, like what? The Portal?
The Portal, yeah.
Good.
You got that.
Gosh.
Well, you got the AM OLED going for you. You
Yeah.
got the 7 inches, and you got the ergonomics. I don't love,
it's
but you
huge,
can get It is huge. You can get a grip for it, which really helps.
But you see, so I don't have my eye and ear here, but I mean, the thing is, it's without the grip, it's really streamlined. So to slide this in your backpack when you're traveling is not such an issue. And I think that's where the genius lies with this thing, is that...
Really?
Yes. So that, to me, I don't know. You tell me what you
You call that everyday carry, though? You call that everyday carry?
No. Like, I'm just thinking when I go on my overseas trip,
Okay.
I'm not going to take the Ioneer. It's just too bulky. It's chunky.
Right.
Like an x86 device, even my Steam Deck, just feels a little bit more delicate. Whereas this just feels like it's going to survive, you know. So and the streamlinedness of it.
Yeah. You're talking about, and Aiden, you're talking about the Ioneo Evo in comparison.
Sorry. My current device for playing Steam games is the Ioneo 2S.
The 2S, the Windows. Okay. Yeah, I had that for a little while, the white one. It is so clean. I made a dumb mistake and sold it to Ban on our team for $200.
$200? Good Lord. Okay.
Well, you know, he can have something to review, and also like I miss it dearly because it was so clean. But it got really hot and it bothered me. And I don't know about you, but like for me, like one of my things is if it gets too hot in the hands. Now in the winter, don't get me wrong, in the winter that's great. I'm like, warmth. But in the summer and spring, I'm like, I don't.
That. They did fix.
Oh, they have.
Yeah, there was a fix for it, and I just keep the fan running because the fan's not super loud.
Okay.
And that's actually, like, I find the Ioneo controls. I don't know if the new 3 is going to be the same buttons and that. When this arrived, like I'm okay. This thing overall, I'm just completely enamored with it. The what's this? The Portal. But
the Portal.
The controls, like the action buttons, the D-pad. Okay, this D-pad's better than the Ioneo, but the what are these things called? The nipples?
The joysticks.
The joysticks.
The things that allow me to use my Stubbs Nubs joystick caps available on Etsy.
Oh, there we go. Shameless plug. But
$4.
I just find that because a lot of people slam Ioneo, the controls are superior to this. Like, I really miss my Ioneo controls while I'm busy testing this.
I hear you there. Yeah, no, I hear you there because with the Ioneo you get the nice full fat size sticks. And the competitor device to that, the direct competitor to that would be the Ioneo Evo, I would think, which is a similar performance.
Yes. Yeah.
Similar body style to that Ioneo 2S. But you get those nice big fat joysticks, which are Xbox size. So good. You can enjoy those. And I agree with you there, man. I don't use either, though, for any sort of travel, really. The Ioneo, the AYN there.
The Portal.
I would be the Portal. I would be too concerned with snapping it or the screen, that beautiful screen getting chipped. And so I have a carry case, but yet every time I get on an airplane or go somewhere, I'm always saying to myself, I'm going to bring this big boy. I'm going to bring this and this. I always go for the smallest clamshell in my library. So last year, it's really the one I take with me every day is going to be for trips is going to be the SP from Anbernick.
You're not the first person to tell me that. Yeah.
But now I'm spoiling all my upcoming videos. But now I've been using the Miu Flip. This is the V1, by the way. Yeah.
V1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I reviewed this and
such bad reviews and stuff. Yeah.
I poo-pooed on it, and I agree with the reviews. It's really and the hinge is horrible. It's awful. It's just, listen to this. What the hell, dude?
It's going everywhere.
What the stupid thing? Like, why is it so much work to open it? And it's going to snap at some point.
That is shocking.
The problem is that when you get down to it, what other device is going to be that small, a little extra more pocketable, more powerful, with the 3566 inside of it than the SP? It has two joysticks that function, they're not, and they even click. Yeah. They're not great, but they're there.
It's just so nice and when you're versatile. Yeah.
Right. It's just so versatile. The stock OS is garbage. And this one actually stopped reading micro SD cards. So I filmed my video first before that happened, but it no longer allows me to use custom firmware. I'm stuck with stock and whatever I can transfer on here. It's just a garbage piece of crap. I hate it, but this is the one I keep pulling out to go with me around town and wherever. So,
but there's a little secret in that, because you hit the nail on the head, because when I pack my bags to go overseas, I know that I'm going to be like, I don't want to destroy my portal. I'm going to find something that's expendable, you know?
Yeah.
And it's going to be something like I used to take the V90 around with me. What's another device that I always like? It's always like some like crappy one, you know? It'll be a Power Kitty or it'll be, you know.
Right. Something, me too. It's like ultimately, what can I toss in the bag that if it doesn't make its way back from this trip for some reason,
okay with this.
I'm all good.
That's the thing.
I'm all good.
Because the other contender is my Odin 2 Mini. But this is like my pride and joy. This is going to go down probably as my favorite device ever. So,
but it's smaller. It's more mobile.
But still,
why not bring that?
Very sad.
Why not break? Okay, because you don't want to break it. But the portal. But here's the thing: we're you and I both wear glasses, right? So you want that big screen, and so ideally, if you baby your portal and you have a carry case or something for it, ideally, yes, you have that long battery life. You can play any game in your library. You can do Windows as long as you're doing like Winlator or streaming or what have you. So why not choose that? You're right.
Yeah.
You just have to contend with, all right, I got to be a little extra careful. This is in the bag. I got to be a little extra careful. I'm pulling it out. I got to make sure, it's just a couple of those things where for me, dude, I'm just going to pull out some little thing, maybe the original Miu Mini.
Don't pull out a little thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like a GKD, or like an ET dongle right here. He's got his little dongle there.
That's cool.
Or lately, I don't know if you had Shem on recently, but Shem's ablaze about this My Mini, which is a Miu Mini clone with a little what Rob calls a chode in the middle, and it lights up bright as day. Look at this.
I haven't seen that. I'm like taking.
You haven't seen this. You haven't seen this piece of shit. Look at this. Look at this e-waste. This RK3326.
That is a very unfortunate positioning of the joystick.
It's just like it has this stick right here, and the science behind this, the reasoning behind this.
They should just call it the Winky, or
Well, Rob, the retro tech dad, just calls it the chode. That's how we all refer it as the chode. It's
the chode.
And it has this. Oh, this is
really?
Look at this.
That really took me by surprise.
Look at this.
How does that even exist?
And it has a light up. Joyce, let me turn off my light. It has a light up.
Has a light. Like they really put like love into this thing.
But it's good. It's actually pretty good. The back buttons, they're clicky, but they're not too loud. They're not like RGB 20SX loud.
Okay.
And this one's bright pink, and my son, I have a second. I bought two of these. I have a second one.
Stubbs loves himself a bit of e-waste.
I do. Well, I love the thrill. I love the thrill of the hunt of tracking down the cheapest device possible that is usable and that is enjoyable. And I stress test it with my kids. Like my son, I've been handing him my e-waste. I'm like, which does he gravitate towards? He's been reaching for the My Mini. He doesn't really use the joystick, but it's the right size for his hands.
Yeah.
All of his games play, Donkey Kong Country, whatever.
Okay, cool.
And it's not bad for the price of, what is it? Like $30 to $50, something like that. Shem is buying all four colors, he was saying.
Shem, I don't know if he intends to be, but he's quite the contrarian, like, for instance, the
yeah.
Oh, don't break things.
It's all right. Rob printed a lot of these for me.
Oh, so it's not actually it's just a little 3D printable that you guys made.
It's a little ET character. Yes. Yeah. Rob made actually 30 or 40 of these for me and sent them in a box and then filled up boxes within the box. So when I opened it up, each box, more ETs would fall out.
Oh, that's so fun.
So he's...
Yeah, but I enjoy old Shem. Like he's always like doing the opposite of whatever. Like, everyone's complaining about the Miu Flip and he's like, I love this thing. I think it's wonderful. He's just...
Well, I think he's right on that. I think the V2 could be good. And Russ did a video, and it was very controversial, actually, where he said the V2 is fixed. Unfortunately, the V2, they made a metal hinge versus the plastic in here. And the metal hinge on some units are snapping. It snaps the whole damn thing right off because it's now more powerful. Well, they intended to make it more reinforced. And so Russ is catching flack all over Reddit, all over, different places for having that opinion. And it's like,
Can't win.
You can't win, but maybe the V1 is actually where it's at, because of the two, I'd rather have a plastic hinge that's lighter weight, that's going to be annoying, but at least it's not going to break.
It's not going to snap out of the whole mechanism that they were made.
Yeah, it's not going to like break the plastic versus the V2. Now the V2 as well, we could get in the weeds here, but the V2 as well has made the joysticks not as stiff, these stiff joysticks feel awful. So I have a V2 on the way. I'm going to evaluate, because this has quickly risen again to my favorite everyday carry device.
Yeah.
Especially with MIUI and other custom firmware options. It makes it a really, really good device for I beat Twisted Metal 2 on here, just around the house. I wasn't even carrying it around because I brought it back home from my trip, and I continued to play on it because my save state was ready to go on here.
Cool.
So, dude.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shock after all that time that they still can't get it right.
No.
LITNXT, I don't know why they've been a bit slow with that device for me. So mine's on quick order with DHL, and they haven't said whether it's V1 or V2, so I'll see. But I'm quite excited to have a look at that. So on everyday carry, you mentioned to me something about how it's it's like a thing for you, like an important thing for you. You send me a video. Maybe I'll pop that video on the screen.
Yeah, maybe pop it. I'll send you all sorts of videos. Pop that video. So I was at the dentist a few days ago, and I was like, I want to bring my everyday carry, and I want to. For me, I have a lot of dental anxiety. In fact, the last time you and I were on a podcast, one of your episodes together, I think
weirdly enough,
you were hitting your 10K.
Yeah.
And I sent you a congratulations video of me at the dentist.
From the dentist, and you were, I think it was Halloween at the time.
That's right.
So you were sitting there, and all the dental nurses walked next to you, and they were in these bizarre costumes. It was very strange. I was like,
I think
what
they were
are
doing
they
like
doing
Harry.
in America? Like the people have lost their minds.
Oh, we definitely, and we've lost our minds even further a couple of years later now, oh dear. But I think they were dressed as Harry Potter, but they are cool with me having my comfort blanket of having an everyday carry handheld with me. Cause I'm like, hey, pulling out the handheld. They're like, cool, we'll keep doing our thing. So I'm just over here playing my Trim UI brick.
Your anxiety. Yeah. Okay.
I don't like people in my mouth, like poking around at stuff. I can't focus on that. And so I was just playing Twisted Metal on my brick. I'm trying to evaluate again what is the best everyday carry, and this is something that was never that big of a concern to me. I'm like, I'll bring a device on a trip. I don't really think about it, but I realize more and more that I think my mission and my goal in this hobby is to find like one handheld to rule them all for the home, and one handheld to rule them all for out and about, like camping, dentists, trips, all that stuff. And so everyday carry is really, really important to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, what can I fit in my like little Tom Talk crossbody bag or whatever?
Yes.
And I could put like an Odin portal in there, or I could put like 4 different small handhelds and then switch between them like a madman, to just have that different.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything, but that might be the option for you.
That might be, and you gotta have in your carry case. You gotta have like a little battery pack.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You're gonna have to have an original. Obviously, that's not emulation.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. With your kick lately, it's
with my kick just lately. Yeah. With my like hyper focus lately. Yeah. That's correct. What's your hyper focus lately? My
hyper focus. Because I had a second channel that I just every now and again posted stuff for FPV drones, and then the other day I had like a hyper focus moment where I changed the channel's name to Hyper Focus with Aiden, and I thought, yes, my brain was just like, I'm always into these different things. So like, if I'm hyper focused on something, I'll put it on this channel, and I've literally done nothing since I changed the name. But anyway,
you know what? Same energy here, because I have a second channel. It's for music, and I do like music reviews.
Yes, I mentioned I messaged you the one day and said, actually, these are really cool videos. You should do more. But anyway, yeah.
And then I stopped because the comments were like super mean, and like really? I'm over at that channel with my real identity and my real name.
Okay.
And so like for some reason I like take it in a little more personal versus being Stubbs, which is like my internet persona, which is super easy to step into. It's safe. It's like, I don't feel any of the nonsense most of the time that happens. If people comment like, "Oh, your thumbs are huge and you suck" or whatever, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty funny. I'm like, yeah, they're pretty big. Versus like a comment on my music, which is super personal to me, where it's like, that kind of like goes straight to the depths of my psyche for a minute, like some sort of deep seated, something. And so I got to work on that before I post there again on how to deal with some of that, because people, like, especially for starting a smaller channel out, they are horrendous towards you. Like, they want you to fail and they will just attack. It doesn't matter that you maybe have this other channel that has like 73,000 subs. It's like, well, what have you done for me lately? And so I got to like push through that, because I remember that was like that for RH when we started out too. And all new creators, people give new creators a hard time. And I would say for you all out there, push through that. Me too. So let's do it. And you as well, man. Get that second channel going.
Yeah. Well, it's because I took a long time to actually, one of the next episodes coming up, Cyber Dopamine. I messaged him because he probably even more than us struggles with ADHD. And so he reached out to me and he was like, "How's it going?" And I said, "Listen, sorry, the episode's not out yet. I've really been struggling this first portion of the year." And they said, "If you don't mind me asking," because he knows what I struggle with. And I said, "It's literally just ADHD. Like, I'm really struggling to get going." And I'm kind of through it now. I think I'm in it now.
Good.
So I don't want to look at second channels and stuff. I'll leave that for when I need a break,
For when you need a break, I'm the same way. I stopped posting to my music channel because I got more into RH and I needed a break from that. But I'm going to switch back to that when I need a break from this. That's right. And I was thinking about making a third channel that is just more of this, more of Stubbs, more of retro stuff, but more personal stuff, like more like connecting with really, really meaningful, deep stuff to me that doesn't involve as much of the like shenanigans, the entertainment. It's more like, these are games that are like super important to me, that I think is hard to do on our main channel. It's hard to, because, we've me, Zoo, which you interviewed Zoo recently as well.
Yes, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one. Versus me, Zoo, and Ban, the three of us, which sort of has this like dynamic and these characters, and so I think separating off some stuff might be good. But again, I have that anxiety of where I feel like myself, and I can just literally fully embrace that. But I've been having motivation issues with that as well. And so Miles, Cyber Dopamine, that kid is one of the coolest kids. I met him in Taiwan last year for Computex. That's where we met each other.
Yes, I remember that, yes.
And I just remember striking me that he was just a very real, just a real person, just a great guy. And I'm excited for your episode with him. So I can't wait to learn more about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lot younger than us. And I think the thing that I take, like, because everyone like shits on the younger generations. And the thing that I take away from talking to him is how open he is with who he is. Like, and I envy people like that have dealt with, just been open with himself about their limitations and their things that, like, I'm good at this, I'm terrible at this, let's focus on the good, and whatever, if I'm bad at that, it's okay. I wish I was like that at his age,
Right?
It's
We're learning
so
to be
long.
like that.
Yes, yeah. And I don't know, something about our generation, how the way we were raised. So we're still a little bit from that generation that kind of repressed what we're feeling kind of thing. Whereas his generation is just like, I've got ADHD. Okay, well, you're 3 years old. Let's work on it. Like, I don't know when he got diagnosed, but you know what I mean. Like, he's been able to deal with it throughout his whole life, and it was like, as a 45 this month. And
nice, congrats. But I've been watching a lot of World War II documentaries lately because I'm turning 40 this month on the 23rd.
And so now this is the age that you have to do that. Like,
I have to get into barbecuing. I'm a dad. I have 3 kids. Yeah. I have to watch World War II documentaries and really, really know my stuff. And I really have to embrace, a better lifestyle for myself. I need to eat better. I feel like, I'm going to start getting colonoscopies now.
Yes.
Which I'm going to get one prematurely because I accidentally swallowed a toothpick this week. So they're going to have to get in there and figure that out.
Yeah. People who are watching this don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah, they don't have context. Yeah, so unfortunately, I was eating a damn sandwich before Monday's RetroHandhelds podcast episode, which, we're live at 6 p.m. And then I was eating that sandwich about 10 minutes before. I was just in a hurry. And they put one of those little wooden toothpicks in the sandwich to hold it together, which is all well and fine, except it wasn't sticking out of the sandwich like they normally are. It was inside. What the hell?
Come on, people.
It's a crunchy sandwich for some reason. Crunching down, and I look down, and there's half a toothpick left in it. I'm like, what the hell? Why is there no, where's the other half? Oh my. Oh no. Oh no, it's in me. But that wasn't great feeling.
No.
And it's about 25%, 75%, where 75%, the dentist told me it should be okay. And my wife and
that it won't be.
And the experts on Reddit, and I read doctor notes and analysis about these cases, where about 25% of the time it's a medical emergency if you feel any pain, because it's going to perforate that damn colon, and then you're going to get the poopies in your body, and then you're just you're dead. Oh. So we'll find out tomorrow. Actually, it's the day. I think we're going to find out if this is my last interview or not, and we'll see.
So dramatic.
We'll see. But I know I've been having fun with it though. I'm like, hey, and they on the show this week, people are like, what are you doing live stream? Like, go to the hospital. I'm like, no, the show must go on, and it's probably going to be fine, because did you know your body is much smarter than you think? Like, it has an auto sensor that knows inside what's going on in there, and it will carefully move things through you with delicate care to keep you okay. Wow. It's just, don't contort your body too much.
Yes.
Don't jump up and down. Don't do handstands. Yeah. Don't play Twister, and we should be good. So I have faith that everything will be fine. Yeah.
Well, you were messaging me before the episode, and so it's really late here. So me and my wife were putting the kids to bed, and I'm like, this guy Stubbs for tonight is telling me about his toothpick that he swallowed, and he's like, this might be the last interview I ever do. And she's like, you can't say that. She doesn't know you. And I'm like, he's from Portland. He's weird. It's like,
I am weird, and it entertains me, because if it was, it would be, I don't know. It would, if that did happen, it would just, for some reason, makes me laugh in the afterlife. So
at least we know you're not afraid of death. You're just kind of like,
I really was for a lot of years. You think about it, and I'm turning 40, and so I am having that sort of midlife. Yeah. I'm buying up all my childhood things that remind me of a comfortable time when I was younger.
Before it's all over. I'm thinking about mortality, but I'm also
accepting life is also really tough. And we've had a good run here. I've had a good time. I've had a good impact on my kids' lives. I should be around for them for the rest of, however long I can be. But let's say if this week was my last, I am happy where I'm at, and I'm happy with what's been accomplished, and RH would continue on without me, because you were saying, we are a team of people. We're a team of creators. Yeah. And I've set a template for how it can be done, and they would continue. I even told Ban, I was like, hey, if something crazy does happen, here's how I would want to keep running things. Yeah. And so everybody would just keep going on. And you would take over as the host for a podcast or Tech Dweeb. And I think we could figure this out. So it's all good, really.
That's such a great thing. I've been hearing, I think it's stoicism that's been popping up a lot online lately. It's an old religious belief that's been a philosophical belief, and they will, I don't have the exact quotes, but they will say things like if you're dealing with a bad situation, they'll say things like, you could do the worst you've ever done today, and
that's
then
right.
It resets your brain to be like, well, if I could do my worst, I could also do my best. so whatever, let's just go and do this thing. And I think when you accept, like, what am I trying to say? Like, what you're saying is very morbid, but it's also signifying how happy you truly are.
We're at a good place, you know, like, and honestly, like, if you're going to go out, I think around 40, 50, like, you're peaking in some ways. And so, like, before you start your decline, you know, isn't it better? Same thing with like RH. If we were to end RH, like, isn't it better now when we're sort of at a really nice level before like crazy things happen? And I mean, I don't know. Obviously, like, I don't have bad thoughts like that where I don't want to be gone, but also, like, I don't want to be old either. So, like, rock stars always say, you know, like live hard or party hard, leave a beautiful corpse or something like that. Like, you know, it's
leave an ugly corpse. Like, you know,
leave an ugly corpse.
What's the point of leaving a beautiful corpse? It means you haven't lived. That's kind of like the thought, you know.
I mean, even better. That's an even better way to say it. I got that from The Simpsons, by the way. But
wisdom, great wisdom.
Why do we always pivot into the existentialism? And every time you and I are together,
yeah. I mean, the call cut out, and I was like, man, like, when I chat to you, I feel like it's this weird mind meld, and I just start to feel like I'm not sure who's talking at any point of the conversation.
Yeah. What happens to us is we do the mind meld, and our thoughts sort of combine, and neither one of us could talk those thoughts, but it's the same thoughts, which is really interesting. Yeah. And I think it shows not just us as friends, but just, I mean, us as creators in the same niche and in the same sort of general same spots in life, it feels like. And we're in different countries, different cultures, but we have this universal language, you know, that kind of intangible kind of flows through the force or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's like, because I mean, I grew up, I'm sure I mention this all the time, like how sort of conservative and religious I grew up. And like, I picked this up actually from Caesar Milan, you know, the dog whisperer guy.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah,
he speaks about energy,
awesome.
you know, and it really resonated with me because I just find that to be true in life. Like he was like, these dogs are friends because their energies connect. And I like, just with people, I find that happens a lot. But another thought on that is generally personality types like ours don't get on well because we're so similar. Like, but you know, both sort of like leaders and like all over the place and like full of inspiration. Those two personalities don't usually do very well together. My like best friend is, I actually heard the other day that the best friends for people with ADHD are usually people on the spectrum because they're more like down the line, calculated, do the same thing every day, you know?
Yeah, that's like Zoo and I. Yeah, like Zoo definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, he's that regimented dude in my life. I don't know if he's on the spectrum, but
no, but I thought actually, of my best friend who is actually so interestingly very much like Zoo, like very calculated. He's done the same job for like 20 years. He's you know, like they couldn't afford it and they ended up having 3 kids, and he like calculates every cent for every month, and they have like
Zoo too
done well, you know. I could never manage my finances, so like I think it's nice to have someone that you can look up to like that in that way, you know.
Yeah, he's taught me, I would say, like how to manage things like credit cards. Like he helped us pay down our RH card very strategically, like very intelligently. And he's the one who helps us keep things. I run a lot of purchases by him. Like, hey, does this make sense? And he's like, that does. We're like, yeah, we already have that. You know, we really need to spend that kind of money, the business money for this. And it's great that he's there for that. Because me on my own, I'm like, well, this could be a good video, and this could be a good video, and this could be a good video. Let's buy this. And now we're turned upside down. Since we became like a business in the last year or two, like now we have to pay our big tax bill this month finally. And that's crazy and scary. And I need to find like a tax person, but it's tough being a businessman.
Yeah,
it really is, but we're good at,
but you've got Zoo to help you.
We got Zoo to help. My wife helps. One of my good friends, Kyle, helps, and like everybody, I have people in my life who I go to for my checks and balances, who kind of keep me in a good place.
Yeah.
And then I myself then am, a leader for some other people, on our team, because I have particular things that I'm good at, while I'm horrible with certain other things. And so, like you were saying, you have those people, who you rely on for that.
Yeah. And just to mention something about Zoo, chatting to him, he's very modest, and I was trying to very politely in the conversation point out, because he was quite offended that someone at CES was like, "Oh, so you're not an idiot." I think that's the words that they said to him. And
what?
Which is quite rude. But what I was trying to take that person's perspective and say, like, I think he really plays down what a smart guy he is. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he does. He's incredibly intelligent. Don't ever tell him I said this. I guess this will air. He won't watch this probably. Don't ever, you never can underestimate Zoo. He's an incredibly intelligent guy. He's methodical. He's very consistent. So consistent. He actually sent me a reminder of when his bowel schedules are, so I would know when to not bother him. But that's usually when he sends me like his Instagram reels and stuff like that. So I kind of know daily 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to have some entertainment and not bother him about RH stuff.
Yes.
But he goes deep, and he's open about this. But he does downplay himself in our videos, because he has a character that he has when he's online. And he also has his producer, Gary, who is very different from Zoo. And, he's around as well to keep things in check for him.
Yes. Yeah. So. Interesting thing going on there. Yeah, but I think, like, because I got on the call with him, and he puts on that persona in the videos, and I didn't get, like, from the only thing I know about Zoo, I haven't been to CES with you guys.
You got to come.
I didn't see a lot of the episodes of it. Well, even the episodes for RH, he puts on that whole persona. And so when I met him, and like just probably punting the episode a little bit, but he kind of just lets it all go. In that episode, I don't know what it was, but he just kind of just, like, that persona wasn't there at all. And it was really nice to see, and it was, how do I say, like, he really plays that down, and he's almost like nervous to let people know that he's a really stable, nice guy.
Yes. Yeah. He feels better, like, letting everyone think that he's completely unhinged and insane.
Yes.
Like that he's basically Alex Jones reviewing handhelds.
I don't know.
Like that is. Okay. Oh, he's an American here who's like a conspiracy theorist. He's
okay. That's kind of the vibe he gives. Yeah, like that kind of a person. Yeah.
And so I don't know. We've always vibed. I was a little bit fearful of him at first when I first met him, because he came on so strong with that personality. And then we got to know each other, and I'm like, dude, you got to make videos for the channel, because he did like a test video for us, and it was so funny. And he got his like Michael Myers mask on, and it was like this whole like serial killer thing, because he was joking a lot about that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna come to your house, I'm gonna stab you. It'd be hilarious. And I was like, that would be
like genuinely.
That would.
He gets so into it, and you start to think like, oh shit, should I change my address? What should I do? Like.
yeah. At first I was a little unsure, but it was very entertaining, and so. Yeah. I started mailing him e-waste, basically like the cheapest $5 things, and I'm like, what can you do with the Tiger Electronics handheld? And he started making hilarious, entertaining videos, and as he progressed, he got serious chops as a reviewer. He came in with no experience, just charisma, just the funny bits. He learned how to film, he learned how to do stuff. And I got to tell you, man, he's just blossomed into one of the coolest reviewers and dudes.
Yeah. Well,
again, don't tell him I said this.
He gets upset.
He gets upset when anyone's nice to him. So don't tell him.
He gets upset when anyone's. Yeah, but that's all. Yeah, that's part of that thing that I picked up on. Anyway, Sue's a great guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, listen to the episode.
Yeah, and you got to come to CES with us because you got to pass the aux cord so we can do some music enjoyment at the Airbnb, and you get to see him belting and play some pool and go to the barcade. So I don't care how much it costs. Like you were saying, have maybe PCB Way or somebody sponsor you to come out to Vegas.
Yeah.
And
I
let's go.
keep saying 100,000 subscribers, I will go to CES. So
yes.
it's going a bit
Please.
slow right now, but we'll get there.
Me too. Are you seeing that too? Where we were doing well, and now it's like a plateau.
I don't know
and
what's going on.
Every subscriber, it feels like you have to like fight a little bit for now.
I'm pulling teeth, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it has to probably do with, personally, I think it has to do with some of the tariffs coming in, where people are concerned about costs, importing fees, and maybe they're not watching the content as much, or they're more like settling into their devices now. Like, along the way, people are finding their one device now, and kind of disconnecting now. Yeah. Whereas before it was the Wild West, we were so hard trying to get to GameCube emulation and PS2 emulation, and now we have that.
Yeah, so like 76 tested PS2 games, no one cares. Like, they're just like, well, it's fun.
Like, oh, it's another PS2 handle. Like, great, everything, we have so many PS2 handhelds now. Yeah. And nobody really, at least I feel like the majority isn't really concerned about PS3 emulation. Like, a lot of people are just kind of hopping off the hype train. And then you have people who will watch Russ for just Russ being Russ. A lot of people will say, like, I don't even have these devices, or I don't plan to buy any, but man, you make great
your voice
videos.
Relaxing. Yeah.
Right. And so we're starting to lean more into the getting to know us, getting into our passion projects.
Yeah.
Like, let's start modding handhelds. Let's start diving deeper into the ones we love the most and doing custom firmware stuff. Like you're doing the mod stuff. I see a lot of creators pivoting now. And Switch 2 coming out, in June is huge. So a lot of people, I don't know if you noticed this week, but this week traffic tanked because everybody's switching over to, emulation. Switch 2. Switch 2. It does GameCube, dude. It does, backwards compatible with Switch 1 titles. Like everybody's on that train. But have you seen how expensive it is? $500 USD. Where I'm thinking like RetroHandhelds all of a sudden don't sound so crazy.
Yes, this is the thing. So how do you feel about the Switch 2? So I have a few opinions, but I'm not as entrenched in the culture of the Switch and all that sort of thing.
It's beautiful. I mean,
it is a nice piece of tech. Okay?
Nice piece of tech, 8 inches. Nintendo is known for their innovation. They always have been. Was it a little boring to call it the Switch 2 and not the Switch 2 Wii U X Plus or whatever? Sure, whatever. But it's the Switch, and Nintendo, everyone looks to Nintendo to advance the entire gaming space for console stuff, for handheld stuff. And so, they played it safe by the books, but they added things like this mouse mode, which may be a gimmick, but we thought the Joy-Cons were a gimmick too.
I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it's you see, here's the thing, like Tech Dweeb always goes like the best handheld is the one you have with you. The thing about the Switch is that. It's you.
Correct you.
Sorry, it's Stubbs.
I have fun with that too. I may have said that, and then Tech Dweeb referenced me, but now I've been saying Tech Dweeb's the one who says that. But
aren't we all
the
fun. Same person just making?
But we're
AI
all the
content?
same person.
Yes.
Yes, we are. That's correct. We're all YouTubers are basically all one mind, as you've learned here. Russ and Tech Dweeb are the same person, as we've learned the other day, and so it doesn't really matter. And so but. I don't know why I called you out on that when I've been like saying like, oh, Tech Dweeb always says the best handhelds the one I have with you. Like, I'm like, oh, it's my one thing I have going for me.
It's all I have in life.
It's all I have.
What was the point of my story?
I can't remember. What were we talking about?
So the Switch 2.
Best handheld,
The beauty of the Switch, like my limited understanding of why it was successful and why I think the Switch 2 might still, even though it is very expensive, and once people get over the price and all that kind of thing, is the tech is all built in and ready to use. I think the little C button for calling people is a bit ridiculous, but everything is there. So even though it's a very weird mouse to have, you have it with you. It's all there.
You do have it. You do have it with you. It's backwards compatible. It has exclusive titles. The titles are gone up in price, $80, $90, some of them. And it can be, but it's what you can expect with a Nintendo console is that it is crazy stress tested. It's just going to work. You buy these handhelds from China and you can go in expecting problems. Like there will just be problems. The reviewers won't even find all the problems because we're spending a couple days with it. We're trying to get content out to get in the algorithm early. And we're like, okay, we do the best we can. We know then that custom firmware will come. We know the community will come fix problems. We know that the manufacturer maybe will help fix problems. But basically, like these are all DIY best effort devices. Here's something, play around with it, tinker with it. Nintendo consoles, they are just from top to bottom. Everything's been thought of. Everything's been thought out. And everything all just works together on the first go around most of the time.
That is the thing. So because I was making fun of the fact that Jolly the Tour is a paid app, which I just thought was hilarious.
The what?
The Tour. It's like a game that you download to guide you through the Switch.
The welcome experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
you pay.
Yeah, because I thought of the people used to get the book with like the NES or whatever, and this feels like the book, but now you have to pay for it. It's just crazy. I was just like, Nintendo, ridiculous. Few people, one person reached out to me and was like, they just feel like this whole thing's a big money grab, which it's a business, it is, but
of course it is.
That just kind of pushed me over the edge. I was like, Nintendo, that is ridiculous. But
and some people think that the emulation or that the Switch 1 compatibility is emulation, like it's Yuzu. They acquired Yuzu from suing them or whatever. But their developers are saying that it's not. No, it's actually like a compatibility translation layer for the Tegra chip, and it's just some games don't work because of that translation. But it's not emulation.
All right, that's interesting.
So,
yeah. And the other thoughts I had, because people, I think historically, Switch has tried to be, Nintendo have tried to be affordable, And so, I've thought of the Portal, which this particular one is $400. And then people go, the Steam Deck is what, like $300. But not many people actually end up spending $300 on the Steam Deck. And like you said, the Switch just works. Like my Steam Deck, every now and again, a game just won't start up. And then I have to restart it or even delete it and reinstall it or something, You've got little quirks like that throughout the system. And then it's kind of the Wild West, You're paying...
It can be.
You're paying for piracy, really.
Yeah, that's the main use case. But it does play Android games excellently, I might add.
Yeah.
And that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is so compatible, and now they have Linux working, and you can do PS3 and Xbox emulation directly on it without doing the Pluvia, WinLater stuff. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Switch 2, I think, made two big mistakes.
Okay, let's see.
One that drives me nuts is the planned obsolescence, because they're going from an OLED screen to a LCD screen, a bigger LCD screen. We had OLED, but you know why they're doing that? Because in a year from now, 2 years from now, they're going to release. Because what else can they do? They need something to move up to. They could have offered this to us on day one, but they're not. And they're going to offer it to us later. Some people will say it's because they wanted that VRR 120 hertz display for smoother gameplay. But I think you can do that with OLED if you got the right screen. So maybe it's a cost thing, what have you. But the second mistake is, I think having an 8-inch screen will be nice for all our old eyeballs, but that won't be great for portability. Who's going to once you hit an 8-inch screen, who's going to bring that around everywhere? You know what I mean? You'll play it around the house with your family. Yes. You'll enjoy it. You can dock it, and it has fans in the dock to keep it cool. It's bigger than
this, hey, because this is 7 inches. So it's bigger
It's 7 inches. So it's bigger than that. And so I think they're going to probably release a follow-up to the Switch Lite with the new chip.
They will, yeah.
So they're going to go Switch Lite in a year, or Switch 2 Lite in a year, and then they're going to go Switch to OLED in 2 years.
Yeah.
And there's their release cycle and all their money planned out for the next 5 years, and all their quarterly profits will look good. People will buy them, of course. We all know this is coming. And it's very, they're playing it very safe, and maybe they're not innovating in the way they used to. And that's kind of sad, you know, like think of the generational leap from GBA to DS, you know, and DS to 3DS even was just these huge changes. 2 screens. Now we're doing crazy, better performance and 3-dimensional stuff.
That's so cool.
You know, but
that was exciting.
But Nintendo now has set the precedent for this form factor, for this horizontal, and now all these Chinese manufacturers are making the same form factor. Your Portal right there, all of it is following the Switch's design.
It's from that original idea, yeah.
Because we all look to Nintendo for that. As mad as we are at them for their suing everybody and taking down YouTubers, and as much as we get pissed off, we still look to them as the leaders of innovation in the handheld gaming space.
Yeah, well, I mean, to play devil's advocate, because someone said to me, how do you feel about the fact that they were being litigious? There's a thing going around about how they were doing it to protect, I can't remember the technicalities of what he was saying, but essentially protect their ability to use the older games on the Switch 2. And I was like, it is what it is. Like, they are being litigious because they created a legacy of games that an entire industry is built on. So, I mean, they are the leaders. And I mean, I don't like the fact that, like, I mean, we have a personal thing of how they treated Russ and that. But, you know, it is what it is. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And we've, you know, people were calling us like saying, hey, you know, you guys are hypocrites for calling out Nintendo because you're going to buy the Switch 2. And I'm like, you're damn right we are. You're damn right I am. Of course, day one, I've already set my notification to pre-order it. Do I want to spend $500 to get Mario Kart at a cheaper price with my bundle? No. But am I going to make content on it? Not necessarily. I don't think Switch content does especially well for our channel. We are very much an emulation handheld channel. Yeah. But I'm a nerdy gamer and I like to try out new tech, and it's of course I'm going to play with this. It's the mothership. I'm going to probably use it more than my Steam Deck when at least the first year or something, you know, as it's new and shiny, as the dopamine fills my brain. But I don't know, man. It's gonna affect all of our YouTube channels in one way or the other. I see smaller creators who got started with emulation handhelds. They're going to immediately pivot now full time into Switch coverage for Switch 2. Like, they're going to make their whole channel about that now. And I think that's probably a smart move. They want to say, hey, you guys are already taking up, you're hogging, you know, all the viewers or whatever it is for this niche, and it's hard to break into it. So guess what? This is over here. You're already set up in what you're doing, so you guys can't move over here easily. But we can, and I say more power to you. That's awesome, and I will be watching. That's really cool. And you have Bob Wolf, who, and like beat 'em ups, who started probably having a down turn in their Switch views and content because the system's 8 years old. It's just not as exciting anymore. But now they're probably going full steam back in with Switch 2.
I'm sure Bob's going to go back into that quite hard. Like, when I first started, I remember people were commenting about Bob and like quite nasty about him because the Switch content, they were like, yeah, he's just a guy who was shilling Switch and now suddenly he doesn't want to make videos about that anymore. What's his problem? Like, you know, it's an evolution. You can't make content about a thing for 7 years and just keep going. It's not practical.
He's also probably, beyond a business standpoint on it, he's probably just bored. Exactly, like with covering it. You know, how many times can you cover that hardware? All you can do now is basically play the new games and post your thoughts about that. You can do cool mods and like, you know, see how long does it take to do burn-in on an OLED screen. That was an awesome video, but at some point he started to turn more to these retro handhelds, which is great because that brought new people into our space. Yeah. And as Linus Tech Tip says, a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. No, I
And
have no
I
problem
would
with that.
And I would say to the smaller creators who are struggling to make content for this niche, if this is what you're passionate about, I think you should still push through to become and cover the stuff you want to do and become the creator that you want to become. Because if you're passionate about it, it doesn't matter. People will follow you. If you show that and you're transparent about like, this really calls to me, people will catch on to that and they will just want to support you no matter what you cover, even though there will be that initial challenge to make that happen. So I would say don't give up. Do not give up ever. Just keep on trying new things until you make it work. We failed so many times in this channel, in this scene. So many times we've fallen on our face. And it's like, okay, let's try something a little different. Our podcast has been up and down over the years, and it was really, really hard to get our podcast to take off. We were getting like maybe 100 views, maybe 200 listens, for 2 years before we found a formula that resonated enough with people to come back and want to watch more. And then we said, okay, this is working. So we tried to basically make that as efficient as possible and good as we could till we got bored of it. And we said, for my own sanity, we got to change again. So we start mixing it up. Season 4 is like some good things, but maybe some things that aren't working. And so we actually see a decline start to happen again. Oh crap. And towards the end of season 4, it's not as hot. And so season 5, here we are, and we're doing fresh ideas. Yes. We're really leaning hard into these sorts of guest interviews, but it's just like me and Rob usually, and then a guest. So it's not like a one-on-one. We don't want to step like on your toes with what you're doing. So it's more of a group interview. Yeah. And we do think about the other creators and like how will what we're doing affect them. You know what I mean? Like this is a big family, and people at CES, like brands, have mentioned this to us. Like, we deal with so many YouTubers and they're all out for each other. Like, they're all out for themselves. Yeah. They are sharks with each other. You guys are the only niche we've seen, this retro gaming thing. You guys are the only niche where you're all supporting each other, and you guys are in groups together here. Yes. And you're all competitors technically. And it blows their minds. Like, Asus and MSI both commented on this. Like, what? Wow. Like, how do you do this and you're still friends? Like, how do you... I'm like, because we all get super stoked on stuff together, and we see each other's content, and that inspires us to maybe even take that idea, and then we'll do our version of it, and then we inspire, much like the music industry. I feel like we learn from each other and borrow and support each other, to where there's this, I don't know, there's competition certainly, but it's almost playful in a way. Like, Zoo and I are on the same channel, and we compete with each other for views on the same YouTube channel. Ban is like happy with whatever. He's like doesn't bother. But me and Zoo definitely like ping pong. I'm like, hey man, I was like, look at that. I got a 4 out of 10 on this one. He's like, shut up. I'm gonna get you with the next one.
Oh, but that's it's great, healthy thing, yeah.
Like, yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that, but that's just a rant.
to your credits, and I want to also talk about something that I did recently. Like, when I first encountered you, I was like nobody in the scene. I had maybe made 2 videos about retro games, and you were like, "Yep, come on,
let's do it." I was like, "Come over to the Discord."
Yes, there's people, chat to us. Let's do a thing, and I don't know how far I was in, and I was like, I wonder if I should do a podcast. You were like, yeah, I'll be in. And like, and number of people have said that specifically about you and other members, and like, well, all of us, but like your like leadership in that, I think, has been pivotal. And that is why, because people came after me for standing up so aggressively during the like Retroid Pocket Mini saga.
Oh yeah, are we gonna talk about that?
Yes, and I don't think, like, because you say stuff, and I said stuff I was very polarizing in what I was saying, but the motivation behind that was to protect the culture. Like what you're saying about going to CES and people noticing that it is unheard of. And I've been in other niches where people are just awful. And that's why I was so vocal about it, because I've never encountered a niche like this or a little like community like this that is so warm and kind to the people who join it. And I got so worried that this rising tide of toxicity was just going to overwhelm us, and before we know it, it just crushes the whole thing.
Yes, and it definitely, the energy was there, and it has been. But I feel like we are past that now. I feel like that storm of intense negativity is starting to pass. And this happens, if you remember, if you've been around for a few console cycles with Retroid, this happens every single damn time. I've only been here since the RP2, so that's almost all their devices. Yeah. Taki was here from the RP1. But this energy comes around. And starting with, I think, the RP3 is when Retroid made a big, oopsie, and they made a mistake. And they started having some quality issues. And guess what? They've always had little things that go wrong. But it's just that we were forgiving because we were so stoked that a brand would come into the scene offering us, this cute little Switch Mini, that even played, PS1 or N64.
Yeah.
And now here we are. And the Flip, had a dramatic thing with the hinge breaking and all that. And and now here we are with the Flip 2 and the RP Mini and the Classic, and the drama came up, and each time people are harsher and harsher. And there's a couple of YouTubers, like 2 or 3, who are the opposite of us, who instead help, they tune into that energy, and they give those people what they want. Like, they feed the sharks, they twist the knife, they know how to do it. It feels really good. It's very successful for them because they're generally known as these they're like Gamers Nexus. It's like they get their success and their money and all that because they're having the negative bias, because they're leaning into that, saying this is the worst product ever.
Yes.
Here's why. All these other YouTubers are lying to you. Everybody's lying really to you except me.
Just listen to me.
I know the real thing. Everyone else is lying. Everyone else. And so we had like one guy with us who was just not compatible with us in that way. And eventually we said, hey, you got to go do your own thing. It's just not working out. And of course, now he's turned to attacking us directly. And last time we were together, and I was talking about Dodo being sort of like that. But, he's fine. He's doing his own thing. He's pivoted out, and he's doing like Pokemon now and toys. And like he's found his new niche for him. Yeah. I feel like he probably got bored of the emulation handhelds eventually. It's like he's off doing his own thing. And then Taki left the scene, but he had this whole thing, like I invented the RP3 or the RP3 Plus or something. And that created a wave, and this toxic energy in the scene started rising. And when the RP Mini screen debacle happened, it got absolutely to its highest point I've ever seen it. Yeah. I know Russ had to take a few days off. I took a few days off. It was like, I need a break from this. Yes. Because you can try to be as positive as you want through this and say, hey guys, this toxicity is going to destroy our hobby, destroy our niche. But those people don't want to hear that. They want you to feed them what they want. They want you to feed them like, oh, Retroid is shady and trying to fraud you and trying to get all your money, and they're, this malicious, evil thing. It's like, Retroid has always been how they are.
Yes.
It's just they bit off a bit more than they can chew, and they're fumbling the ball, and they're making mistakes, and they're not being super transparent about it until after the mistakes are discovered, and that's the problem.
That is the problem.
And that is the freaking problem, and people have a right to feel how they feel. The problem is that, like you were saying, is that how far do we want to take this and hold them under the fire to the point of destroying ourselves, to the point of destroying the heart of the community, the heart of why this hobby is fun?
Yeah.
And I feel like people have gotten a lot of that off their chests, and we're seeing less now. And because this always happens again, when the device comes out and we're in review unit phase, I have an RP Flip 2, should be here in a few days. I don't know when this episode's coming out, but it'll be here, I think, Monday.
Mine arrives like this week, I think.
Yeah, the Monday the 7th, doing like a live stream with it. And
that's probably when I'll get mine, yeah.
as we reach this point, every time in this cycle, people seem to just be more stoked. Like, okay, well, what is this thing going to be? And then what's going to happen, mark my words, because this happens every time, is we're not going to find every little thing with it. We're just going to miss something. We're going to do our best as reviewers. We're going to miss something. People are the deep dive folks on Reddit. Someone's going to be in there deep in the motherboard and the PCB. They're going to find something. And it's going to be all of a sudden, oh my God, the reviewers are shills. They were lying to us all along.
That's going to happen all over again. Yeah.
You know, we're not humans, we're AI. We're just cold, heartless machines here to make these brands money and all this stuff. And so something's going to happen with the Flip 2. I don't know what it is. Is it going to be the hinge? Is it going to be something? And hopefully we'll catch it. Hopefully I will go as deep as I can on it and I'll find it. But it doesn't matter. We'll find it. Someone will find it. The anti-tubers will latch onto that energy and then amplify that energy as much as possible for ultimate, clicks and success, and really cater to their audience and their core audience. And then Retroid's going to offer a solution. Some people will like it, some people won't. We recommended in our pre-purchase videos, like, hey, don't buy this until you've seen reviews. Don't buy this until batch 1 is done. Batch 1 is probably going to have issues. Batch 2, batch 3, maybe. But don't buy until everything's sorted out and you're buying something and you're happy with what you see. A lot of people are waiting for reviews, but again, even the reviews might miss something. And you and I, we will do our best to make everybody happy, as we always, I think, do. But it's we could go on and on about this topic, but
It's been a tough one. What's funny is I'm pretty sure I did a social media post with capital letters saying, "Do not pre-order," and this is straight after I have been like people have been throwing me over the coals. You're a shill, you're an asshole, whatever they said about me, and then the affiliate sales started to come through for Retroid for pre-sales. I didn't even post a link. People were finding my videos and then going and buying, or maybe they had recently clicked on it or whatever. But people were still pre-ordering.
Yes. Same here.
I understand that Retroid need their money to get started. They're not a huge company and all that kind of thing. But I feel like maybe they are already at a position where they don't need to do pre-orders anymore to be able to be flush to make a device. I just feel like it's such a bad situation we're in, where companies need a pre-order to make a device.
Well, and you notice also that they're sending us the review units towards the very end of the ability to cancel your order. Like we're all going to be pressured. We're going to be pressured to get our videos out so that people can know if there's issues.
It's terrible,
and they can cancel.
Yeah, because now I've got to get content out.
Yeah, otherwise it's this energy. It's this crazy energy. Like it's already building in me. Like, oh my God, Monday's going to come around. I got to get that live stream out, and I'm not even going to wait to film and produce a video. We're going to go live. The community will be there. Ask me. I will be your instrument. I will not be skewing anything. You control this body, and you want to see the back of the device? You want to see inside the device? You want to do this? Let's do it. Like, here it is, all transparent. But guess what? They're still not going to be, ultimately, they're not going to be satisfied.
Like,
there's going to be some things we missed. Like, oh, why do you let the community decide everything? Why didn't he just go through?
Stand on your own two legs,
Stand on your own two legs. All this stuff. So you will never, don't even try, because you will never make people happy truly at the end of the day. And so go with your gut, go with your instincts. And I'm going to do two-pronged. I'm going to do the live stream, and we'll do it together, and we'll poke around the device. But it is not a review. It is not a recommendation.
Yes.
I'll probably be stoked if things work well, because the device, I'm really excited about it personally.
It looks great, yeah.
And if something bothers me, I'll be like, this is really annoying. But then I'll take my time, give it a few days, and I'll release some produced first look or video, something a little more in depth. But I'm still going to be under the gun and under the pressure to get that damn video out before those pre-orders lock everybody's orders in, because that's a lot of pressure. And Russ, I think, is going to feel it more than all of us, because he was the one that was put through the ringer more than you, more than me, more than anybody for the RP Mini debacle. He didn't even post anything about the pre-orders because he did not, I think, want people. He did not want to seem at all like he was being supportive after what had just gone on. Whereas we did post our affiliate links. We're like, hey, don't order, don't buy. However, if you're going to support us while you're doing that, here's the link. Now, we did see a lot of pre-order sales. And, you know, you got to wait 30 days. If they don't cancel, then you get that affiliate money, which is one way to fund what we're doing here. It's not a lot of money. It's like 3%. And it's not like the lifeblood of the channel, but it's like, if you want to pre-order and that's your decision and you want to be a beta tester for them for free, you can do that. And here's what you can do. And a lot of people want to be that person. Yeah. But I feel like some of those people are still going to be like,
but
what
they
the hell?
Turn around and shit on us afterwards, you know?
Well, I hope, and we'll see. I say every time I hope, I'm like, maybe we'll be good here.
An interesting thing popped into my mind because, you know, remember with the Flip, Retro Dodo actually were the only ones who were like, look, here's the hinge, and they pushed it until it broke. And everyone was like, okay, that looks pretty good. Let's buy it. And then they still broke, you know?
I know. And it's just, so you can't win and you shouldn't. I've decided maybe it's time to stop trying. Maybe it's time to stop trying to please the community and trying to please everybody. And I'm a people pleaser just as my default. And maybe I just show what I'm most passionate about the device, and I go through and review to my standards. And again, people are going to think what they're going to think, and I'll stand behind my vision of what a review should be for this thing. Yeah. But of course, fixes are going to happen. We'll make follow-up videos. We'll probably make follow-up videos like, oh my God, did you see that this happened? Oh, this is crazy. You know, like it's just a feeding frenzy around these Retroid releases, and no other brand, not even AYN, comes close to what goes on during these launch cycles. Yeah. Retroid only does this to us twice a year, luckily. You know, I wish they would release a device once a year at most. Yeah. Once every other year would be fine with me. Because I love. Here's the thing: is that a lot of them, like the Flip 1, I like it. The Flip 2, I legitimately think I'll love it, but we'll see. But then I'm good. Like let the community enjoy this one device for 2 years. Let us build up custom firmware or whatever, build up all these cool, like what's happening with the RP5 in the subreddit. Like everybody is having such cool projects and sharing games they're playing. Yeah. But that whole energy is going to switch to this clamshell Flip 2 now. And then immediately after that, like a month later, it's going to switch over to the classic their little, Game Boy Color looking one. And that has the same screen as the Mini, which had all the kerfuffles.
I'm so nervous about that.
But supposedly it's fixed. Yeah. But it is OLED, and that's freaking sweet.
Well, they're using the entirety of that screen.
Yes, so the entirety of the screen, which is great. But I think they're probably biting off more than they can chew. And then, unfortunately, and you don't have to edit this out because this is pretty much public knowledge, but unfortunately, they're releasing the RP6 within the next year, I would say, within the next 6 months, even potentially. Yeah, I saw there's this about that, yeah. Qualcomm did a little leaky poo and said, hey, we're working with Retroid and we have this flagship chip that we have for the next flagship. Yeah, something like that. It's some next gen, crazy chip. And I'm like, no, why? Commit to one SKU. Support that one device. Give it all your love, all your attention, all your beta testing, all your quality assurance. Go all in on one device and then let people just love and enjoy it. And you can, if there's problems come up, you have the team, you have the energy, you have the finances to fix problems with one device. But when you diversify and you have these erratic release cycles and there's fucking things going everywhere, you do not have the ability. You're taking mortgages out in your house. You're running around with your head cut off because you don't know what else to do, and you've bitten off more than you can chew, and just admit that. Just say, hey, we fucked up, everybody, and but we're going to keep trying, and we messed up months ago, and we didn't tell you we messed up, and we instead gaslit you for months. Yeah. That's not cool. No. And they've always done this, though, and I don't know if they're going to learn, but at least when they committed to one device, the community let it go, and we found ways around things. We had community spreadsheets and ways to embrace the RP2. And here we are, and now they're branching off into 3,000 devices in 2025. What the hell? Sorry, I'm heated about this one, but anyways,
That's a clip.
Yeah. Maybe the RP6 will come next year. I can only hope to God that they release the RP6 next year so that we can find all the problems and really hone in and build a community around the classic and the Flip 2.
Qualcomm have often taken time to develop new chips, so we'll see.
Yes.
So we'll call this episode Inner Healing for Stubbs.
Okay. No, you got to do some clickbaity title. So here's what I do for the podcast is you got to find, I don't care what the guest says. Like the guest highlight featuring the guest, if you want to put their picture, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can use this picture, some cheesy, whatever, grab a screenshot from this episode. And then, but what you got to do to be a successful businessman is find the most interesting, viral topic that's in the video. Probably the Retroid stuff would be your most viral topic in this. Or switch to, I don't know. Switch to maybe, but with an R niche, the Retroid anything.
Stuff, yeah.
I mean, how'd your drama videos go for that? How'd they perform?
Oh, I didn't really analyze the metrics on those. Those were really just from, I don't know. The drama videos, I don't think they did very well. Let's see here. But Retroid stuff does do well. My Retro Pocket 5 stuff did well. My A1 Portal video is doing well.
What's your
I regret
best video?
7,000 views. I mean, it's okay, but not great. The unacceptable
that's got to be
is 8,000.
Okay, so that's like a 2 or a 3 out of 10 for you.
No, that's like a 4 or 5 out of 10.
Okay, maybe not the Retroid. Although we did get spicy here. What was your best video this year? What's your best performing video this year?
That's what is a weird thing. I was going through my metrics this week. The Ambinic RG Cube XX is my top performing video in the last few weeks. Very weird.
Is it a device that you love, that you enjoy?
I was positive about it in the video, but I'm not super excited about it.
Do you use it day to day now?
No.
Interesting. So I was like, sometimes people will tune into that, oh my God, this is really something you're enjoying. But you're right. It is my best Arvis video, at least of all time, is the R36S for me, that cheapo $30
but you went
device.
Crazy on that, and I think that energy carried through on those videos. You were just you were supporting that device quite a bit, weren't you?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, at first I said, this is a great value, but I was at the start of it. I was like, this is another RK3326. What's special about this? I'm like, it's good value. But after a couple of years, I came back to it and said, hey, this thing's awesome.
Okay.
That video did okay. But actually the funniest thing behind that, the next best video we have is this 12 terabyte ROM-filled hard drive that Zoo covered.
Yes, Zoo told me about that. Yeah.
And it's his best video, and he's so proud of it because everyone was shitting on it, and everybody was saying why would you release this? You should delete this. This is so.
Did this? It was no way.
Yeah, and it's one of our most successful videos. It's earned probably the most ad revenue, one of the best ad revenue videos. That is for the general casual person who's getting into this hobby. They want what device can I buy that has every game ever that I would ever want to play?
Exactly.
And what just has everything and it's already ready to play. I plug it in and it just works.
Yeah.
Well, you could buy a 12 terabyte hard drive with 100,000 games on it if you wanted for $250. Here's something.
Sounds like a deal.
Sounds like a deal. A dude with a much bigger YouTuber than me, it's 5 million view or 5 million sub YouTuber. He does ghost hunting videos and exploration. He's called Exploring with Josh. He goes around the world and checks out really obscure places and ghosts and stuff. Anyways, he was like, I just built a camper van and I want to have an emulation device I could plug into a TV, and it has every game from my childhood and then every game ever made. What's the best? And I recommended him Zoo's thing, and I helped him, get that going. And he was like, sweet, thanks.
Cool.
And then I was like, and you should come on our podcast and talk about it. And he was like, I'm too busy for you, but thanks anyway.
Thank you for the advice, but.
And I was like, son of a bitch, but it's all good. Like we also invited Jerry Rig Everything on the podcast recently. We're kind of shooting outside of our stars. We like to shoot for the stars over here, and every once in a while it's like we get somebody. This week we have this game developer for Medal of Honor who's coming back on the show,
cool.
Chris Cross, and he wants to tell more dev stories, so we're doing an offline episode like this with him.
Cool. I'll definitely listen to that.
We dive deep into those dev stories. We're filming that tomorrow. Maybe the toothpick will come out during that episode. That'd be interesting. Be good. Catch it on camera, I'd say. Like, it's all for the clicks. It's all for the views.
We did this episode while Stubbs was pooping.
Yeah. No, but
it was in a medical emergency.
I make jokes and say like, like you got to get the best clicks. It's not about that. You got to do what sustains you, and so it's a mixture, right, of sponsors, ad revenue, affiliate revenue, merch, and more than all that stuff, you have to do stuff that calls to you, that you feel good about making, that you believe in.
Sustain, yeah.
What's the point? You can do a few videos like that, like that maybe a Retroid video is going to do well just because you're talking about Retroid. Sure, that's fair. But ultimately, like, where is this leading to? What is your end goal for your channel? Is there an end goal you're trying to focus in on? And for me, man, it's like finding... When I started out 5 years ago, it was finding the one device, because it sure as shit wasn't the RP2. It was awesome. It was cute. But no.
Yeah.
No touchscreen. Even Magic 28, like, no touchscreen. What are we doing? It's Android. You gotta have a touchscreen. So, like, what is the one device that really calls to you to where you could say, I can quit YouTube now, or I'm going to pivot the channel to just make all of my content about how to make this one device I love so much and show you all how much I love it, and let's see how far we can take this thing. Because now during the journey, I've become acquainted with being a YouTuber and becoming better at this, and what's the one device for me that is my most powerful device, which for me is like the ROG Flow Z13 2025, which is like the most powerful thing ever. And so we add a telescopic controller to it, stretch it. It's a big tablet.
I saw.
And maybe that is.
Yes. Have you made that piece of content? Because I saw a picture of you going with this thing. Maybe could check it out.
I made like a preview video, like showing the concept. And then it's on me now to make a more full review video. And that's really, I left this in the box for a month because it's so intimidating. It's the most powerful chipset I've ever had in my hands.
Yeah.
And I do much better with pulling out your everyday Linux device and saying, hey, can we run Super Mario 64 in here? And this is like, I was like, can you run Monster Hunter Wilds at 120 FPS on here? Yes.
Yeah, that's like 2 days, 3 days of solid work. Like it's
more than that. It's very stressful, but yet I really wanted to try it out, and Asus was kind enough to be like, all right, we're going to take a chance on you, retro people, with this device. We don't think your audience wants to know about the AI Max 395 chip or whatever.
I don't know.
Strix Halo. And I'm like, can I make retro game content on it? What if I stretch it with the GameSir controller? Like, that would be fun. They're like, okay, we'll see how it does. And for some reason, it happened to be that the video kind of took off just because, like, probably because this is such a weird looking controller. I don't know.
It's just such a crazy idea that you had.
It's just a crazy thing. But more to the point of what I was getting at is, like, that's the journey for me, for our channel, is I want to find that one thing. So I don't know, for you, like, do you have an end game for this? Like, what is your mission for doing your channel?
Bloody hell, man. Like, I got my Game Boy DMG. That was like the end game. That video, I actually changed the title because people were like, oh, clickbait. Because I called it I Quit YouTube. Because
you get to do that one time, by the way. Every YouTuber gets to do that once.
Yeah. And that, I was like, I got my Game Boy DMG. This, like, I've been doing this for a year, and this is kind of what it was all about. So I don't know, man. I don't know what my end game is here. Just have fun.
You're still discovering. I didn't know myself until like 4 years in,
Yeah.
maybe this year, where I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why do I put myself through literal torture to do this to myself? Like, is it some sort of like narcissistic dream to like be the biggest, the best, you know, like, you know, and I'm like, I already give that title to Russ. Like, Russ is our champion in our scene. Like, he is the guy leading the charge, and I just give that over to him. I'm like, I will never, I don't try to compete to be better than Russ. I sort of make sure our content is always sort of like this like side quest,
like a tangent
to what Russ is doing. Like a tangent. So sort of like our content will complement, and we actually try to do complementary things where if we cover something, he'll actually be like, you know what, Zoo already covered this custom firmware. If you want to check his video out, I can skip it. And same thing with me. Like, Russ just covered the Switch 2 launch. I can't say my thoughts are entirely that different from his. And so I'm going to skip that video.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me anyways, this year I'm like, why the hell am I doing this?
And what was your conclusion?
My conclusion, as I'm actively processing this, is basically like, I want to find the one everyday carry device that I can take around.
Okay.
But these devices iterate so much. But I've been able to slow down this year to figure this out because, at least because of the tariff situation, the device output has been less and less. So and where the hell is Ambernick?
Contemplate.
I barely get a review out, and then the next Ambernick lands my door, and I can't do I can't do passion videos because now I'm back in the review cycle for the next Ambernick. And so luckily they've stopped for a little while.
You know,
they did release this Battle XP G350 under a different name. This thing is adorable. I love this thing. Before I even knew it was Ambernick, me, Rob, and Ban were like, oh my God, this is like the perfect vertical handheld.
Is it really Ambernick?
Yeah. Well, so there's...
because I've just been joking about it. I've just been like,
No. So it's using... it's
Ambernick's getting rid of stuff.
So it's made at the same factory. It's made by the same designer. It was shipped... This review unit was shipped direct from Ambernick to us. And what we put together, they don't want to take credit as their company, but it's like their friend's company, and the friend who made this is in the same factory. And so they're the distribution model for this person. But they used the RG40XXV buttons, D-pad, face buttons, sticks,
so nice.
Back buttons, almost everything, but it's an RK3326 in here instead of the H700.
Yes.
And so they're able to get the price point down to $35 USD. Ambernick is adding a $3 markup, so this will be $38. And you can buy it now from them, by the way. And they try to do a markup up to $47. And I told our rep, and I was like, dude, nobody is going to buy this thing for $47. We already all made videos, and we showed people where to buy it for $35. You cannot sell this for $47. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna, no one's gonna click on that. And he was like, well, he's like, all right. And so he found another link from Ambernick that'll work with a cheaper price. He's like, all right, I can get it down to $38, but we're all only gonna make 3% commission. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. Is that what was why you were pushing for the $47? Because you get like 7% commission. Like, no one, you can't ethically tell people to buy this for more money because it will make you more money. Show people the lowest price. People are smart. They use that deals websites, and we have our new deals website, that we run, and like, we're always going to show people the lowest price device, whether it is a bonus to us or whatever. So anyways, $35. This handheld is absolutely beating the R36S. It's beating everything else on the market. It's just flawless for the price. I mean,
I think that's on the way to me, because I just made a video about the V20, which
V20 is great too.
But that's a better deal.
It is, it's a solid device. I have a review coming out for that in a few days. But this one, dude, they were cooking, and it's an old chipset, but screen looks fantastic, and just all of it feels right. And this could be an everyday carry easily, but I'm really looking for, I love clamshells. What's the smallest clamshell, or what's the smallest little device?
So you've got your sights set on some things, and you're gonna mission for that.
Yeah. So I don't know if I answered your question, but that kind of
pretty much. It's gonna nag me now for like a while. Yeah. Anyway,
Think about it.
Let's say goodbye to the audience, and then don't go off the call. We'll say goodbye to each other. So, Stubbs, Sir Stubbs, thanks so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I feel like you were one of the first. I think who was my first person? But anyway, I feel like you were part and parcel of the whole concept of the podcast. So, thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for your love of the community. We are all greatly indebted to you for that.
No, man, I love your content and your channel and your podcast, and I'm so happy to be here. So just thanks for having me on again.
Cool. Thanks, Stubbs. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.